While Hello Neighbor, we focus on what's happening immediately in our local neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, the Hello Neighbor Network is represented by leaders who are doing the same in their communities all around the country. There's a few core components that we know are really making a huge impact for the leaders of these organizations. We've connected really good people and they lean on each other. So those leaders might call each other for support in fundraising, in governance, in program development, program evaluation. Those things are actually incredibly hard to do as a grassroots leader because every day you're making decisions on where to spend your time. So what the Hello Neighbor Network does is create that sense of community. Many of these leaders, when they're thinking about a program to launch or what to do or how to sustain their organization, they can turn to the network for that kind of support. And then we also have our Resilience Grant Program, and that's a re-grant program where we're directly helping organizations access funding. What started as 8 organizations in 8 states in 2018 has blossomed to 96 organizations in 36 states.
When I founded Echo Collective, I had the idea to provide business training to a small group of women who were born in other countries. I wanted to create a space where women could come in and use their skills and feel capable while being able to learn something else. And when you pair that together, it just accelerates their growth and their learning.
When I talked with Kelly and she said she has to plan to make a class for the Afghan women, I was really excited because I heard a lot of ladies that telling me they're so stressed and then they're lonely, they want to make new friends.
خیلی انگلیسی ما خوب شده. اول در کمپ که بودیم بدون تشکری دیگه چیز گفتن نمیتونستیم. حالا خیلی گپ میزنیم. به خاطر زیادتر همراه ما اسپانسر ما هم کمک کرد. ما را در کورس ها بردن، ما را در یک جایایی که مثال درس بود، چیز بود.
موږ سره ډیره مرسته کړې ده ځکه موږ ته سیمپونه جوړ کړي دي او دلته هم راځو نور سیمپونه هم دي هلته هم زه خپل منځ کې یو ځای کېږو ساعت نه تېر دی اوس مخکې خو چې راغلي وو بیخي ښه نه وو ځان ته تنها ناست وو او نه پوهېدو چې څه وکړو اوس چې دا دوی په کومک نه اوس بیخي ښه شوي یو مریضۍ مو هم ورکې شوي دي.
They're really learning English. They're learning to communicate in English. I don't speak their language at all, but the world of sewing is pretty universal. It's just a matter of, adapting what they already know into something new, something different.
Through Echo, we're empowering women to make their own changes and to help their neighbors. We have dozens of women who are feeding into each other and building this community where they not only feel like they belong, but they can use their skills and talents to improve their family lives and raise their economic status. It's grown so much bigger than I ever thought it could in 2 years.
Pope Francis called on every parish in Europe to host a refugee family, and I was really inspired by that idea of calling on small communities to do the work of radical hospitality and of welcome. And it occurred to me that a college or university is very much like a parish or a small city that has all the resources necessary, material, facilities, human resources to support a newcomer family. So I brought the idea to Guilford College's president to open up our campus to host newcomer families here. And we began hosting refugees on Guilford's campus in January of 2016. And we've been hosting refugees here for the last 7 years.
Guilford has a long history for taking in people who were in some stage of refuge. During the 1800s, there were a number of escaping slaves who passed through what ultimately became Guilford on their way to the north, to freedom.
Specifically with the Afghan crisis, I think there was an energy towards action, saying, well, what can we do practically? And every campus or refuge really gives a a very practical guide of you can use your college campus.
When 75,000 plus Afghan evacuees came last August, we realized that we needed to amp up very quickly to support our allies and our newest Afghan neighbors.
They helped us a lot. It was the best experience that I ever had, because I just moved from a different country to another country, meeting different people, and they were really hospitable to us, as they provide us home to stay for more than 3 months and for free, letting us know how things works, how can we get a bus, because we don't know how to do that. They helped us a lot. How to go to shopping, they helped us a lot with everything, even with our studies.
One of the things that we hear from the families that we host is that the thing that they remember the most isn't necessarily the house that they lived in. It's the student who showed up and had tea with them, or helped their child with coloring or English classes.
Off the bat, it's amazing because you get to really see someone progress, like in first person account, and it's like they're very hungry to like learn and to like be part of the culture and like soak it all in. And so at least that's been the experience for me so far.
We have campuses in California, in Washington State, in Pennsylvania, in Florida, in Georgia. There are 13 official ECAR chapters and 10 other campuses that have been supported by Every Campus a Refuge to do this work of hosting refugees and supporting them in their integration.
After our guests move off campus, we continue to stay in touch with them. We work with them on goals that they set. We work with them on things that arise. We are here to provide support, but we're also here just in the way that community shows up for each other.
Before August 2021, MAPS was involved in serving refugees on a regular basis through our services program, MCRC, Muslim Community Resource Center. But in the last year, because I myself am Afghan American, I really was obviously impacted at a personal level. I have family in Kabul still. I had family that I was trying to help evacuate. So MAPS as an organization stepped up into this new leadership role where we directly partnered with the statewide refugee coordinator through DSHS and partnered with them to coordinate the welcome and resettlement of Afghan refugees in Washington State.
I think some of the most amazing wins, if you will, over this last year since the evacuation have really been tied to efforts that MAPS has been involved with. I mean, advocating for $35 million was just a Herculean effort. Anelia and the team here at MAPS, within a week's time, pulled together a coalition of folks to talk with our legislators in the Senate and in the House, and tapping other leaders in the state, to include the governor, and really advocating for the funding that these resettlement agencies need.
Some of the services which we provide is not only with housing, but we also provide what is inside the house for a person, right?
We offer pots, pans, plates, silverware, beddings, blankets, towels, even bathroom mats. Whatever you need to make a house a home, it's in there.
We have a great team of volunteers over there who take care of the needs, and something is missing, we make sure we purchase them or ask our community to donate those items.
We were first stationed in this facility owned by DSHS, and we were there for like almost 3.5 weeks. So MAPS came there and they had a cultural orientation for the newly arrived Afghan families, including my family. And we find it so interesting and useful. They really coded it perfectly, that what needs to be taught to the newly arrived Afghans first, and more importantly, they simplified it a lot. Like everybody could have catch the information so easily from the training.
Around 20 or 25 families, Afghan families especially, they are living in these apartments, and 96% of Afghans, they were disturbed, they were harassed, throwing stones, throwing throwing eggs in front of the Afghan stores, taking their scarf like hijab from their head, My family and we were thinking that they're gonna kill us. MEPS was very helpful. They involved the police and let the police know, IRC, RRO, all these organizations to solve and find a solution for these problems. Everything is, calm now. They are going outside sometimes, enjoying their life. The kids are going to school. Alhamdulillah, everything is very good.
Communities all around the country, urban, rural, suburban, you name it. At the root of every organization are people.
I'm finding the people in Seattle more friendly, more supportive. There are community work which is still going on and they're doing a great and noble job as of now.
هدف ما میسته که با خود ما بزنس جور کنیم، با خود ما کار جور کنیم. به خاطر شوهرم که همراه امریکایی بودند اونجا نانبایی داشتن، مثال نان پخته میکرد با و نمو کسبش هسته.
E-car showed me that it's different. They welcomed us with an open hug, and I think our experience was the best.
As a veteran, especially in a combat zone, when you serve with folks that are willing to put their lives on the line to keep you safe, you form a bond that it doesn't and it shouldn't go away.
There are nonprofits all across the nation doing incredible work, resettling, welcoming.
You may not be able to change the course of the entire world, but you can change and support someone's life by providing housing and providing support, being neighbors to folks who are newly arrived.
One of the things that I love and find so beneficial about this network and this learning collaborative is the opportunity to connect with other people, other frontline organizations that are facing the same challenges we may be facing. To be able to have this shared space where we could learn from each other, where we could share ideas, where we can brainstorm together, and to know that we're not alone in this work.
While we're growing these nonprofits, we're also talking about people helping people, neighbors helping neighbors, communities helping new community members thrive. It's what we care about in our local communities that actually keeps us up at night. That's why I so deeply believe in the organizations that are part of the Hello Neighbor Network, and that's why I believe that if you bring good people together and you're truly collaborative, you're not competitive with each other, supporting leaders all around the country is actually the way that we're going to create more welcoming, inclusive communities on a local level, and then also hopefully be able to create the sea change that we so desperately need on a national level too.